Imagine this, an open and free internet where voices are never silenced, where causes aren't shadow banned, and where no one can be deplatformed. It's real, it's here, and it's happening on Nostr. So what exactly is Nostr? Glad you asked. It's short for Notes and Other Stuff transmitted by relays, but really it's a worldwide community of everyday people working to decentralize the internet. On Nostr, you can build websites, communities, social networks, apps, and more, all using open source technology that's simple, powerful, and available to everyone. One login works everywhere, you own it, and no one can take it away. No more juggling dozens of platforms, chasing audiences, or managing a giant password list. And the cherry on top? Nostr allows for built-in digital payments that can come from anywhere in the world. On Nostr, value flows as freely as ideas. I'll give you an example. I'm Ainsley Costello, the artist behind the song you're hearing right now called Alchemy, where every collaborator on this song gets paid instantly and frictionlessly every time you play it on a decentralized music platform like Fountain or Wavelake. It's a little bit like magic, but I'm here to tell you it's real, and that's exactly what the Soapbox sessions are, your weekly guide to the latest tools, ideas, news, and innovations you can use, whether you're building a community, growing your audience, running an e-commerce store, or just exploring what's possible. We're hooked on decentralizing the web, and we think you will be too.
Welcome to Soapbox Sessions. Derek Ross, we're doing it. We became podcasters. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I remember there's a meme out there that talks about this, right? Like the meme is once you're in Bitcoin long enough, you start a podcast. Now, this isn't a Bitcoin podcast, but it's Bitcoin adjacent. So I think that the meme applies to us, right? I think it works.
You're already a meme every day. That one guy on Nostr makes a meme.
I know.
Out of you pretty much, 5 times a day. It's great.
The greatest thing is before we even started this, I was scrolling Nostr because that's what I do. And I saw him posting, hey, please talk about memes on the show. And I was like, we're just going to scroll your feed because your feed is just Derek Ross memes. So
memes.
The show is not about Derek Ross memes, right? That Soapbox Sessions
I'm out of here then.
You came for the memes?
I came for the memes.
We could do like one meme review. The show is supposed to be not about memes, but about Nostr, AI, decentralization, legacy social media,
AI.
Future social media, vibe coding, or AI first coding. I forget what we're supposed to call it now. Culture, weekly news, things like that.
All the cool stuff that we have found that we want other people on the internet to find and come join us because it's fun.
Absolutely. Like, if you're listening to this, that means that you are on the Nostr, or if you're not on the Nostr, that means you need to join us on the Nostr because we have a lot of fun. So let's kind of kick things off speaking about Nostr. Let's kind of do a recap about the decentralized social future, as I like to call it, and just review about what's been going on over the past few days here in our side of the Purpleverse. Has anyone ever called it the Purpleverse?
Purpleverse. Oh, I like that. Can we steal that for maybe something else we might talk about later in the podcast? Purpleverse.
Okay.
Little tease there.
Well, I like the tease. All right. So let's talk about some app updates because Nostr's ecosystem is always growing. There's tons of apps out there and app developers are always putting out all sorts of new updates all the time. So this past week, we saw Amethyst, which is my daily driver on my Android phone.
That's
come
the
out with
killer
version
thing.
1.0. Do you use Amethyst or no?
No, because I'm an iOS person. So
Amethyst has been around for like 2.5 years. Amethyst has been here for a long time.
Okay, cool.
But the big milestone is that Amethyst hasn't had an update in almost a year. It's been since like last fall.
Oh, wow.
And we've been giving Vitor a whole bunch of, giving him a whole bunch of flack saying, come on, man, like, is this project dead? Where's the app updates? And I know that he's been working constantly over the past like 10 months on his refactor, completely redoing the whole entire architecture, a lot of geeky, nerdy stuff. At the end of the day, we'll say that Amethyst does some really neat things to help with decentralization now.
Cool.
You can connect to literally hundreds of relays, which sounds kind of wild because you don't want to, in the past it was you don't want to connect to too many relays because you're going to have a bad experience. Yet you can open up Amethyst to be connected to hundreds and hundreds, literally like up to 1,000 relays. It's insane. So what this does is it allows essentially everybody that you follow to run their own relay, and you can connect directly to their own relay if you wanted to, so it drastically increases decentralization, censorship resistance,
Mhm.
yada yada yada, all the buzzwords we like to talk about. It also added these new chat bubbles at the top of your screen for ephemeral chats, and those are just chats that come and go
Disappear?
and don't save.
Yeah.
Disappear. Don't save your
That
conversation
word
history.
ephemeral, so hot right now.
Ephemeral. They're
Ephemeral.
only active when you're in them. So that's new. So we got chats and we got some geeky stuff like hidden emojis. So you can like hide things in an emoji. And when the emoji has text hidden inside it, it just gives you an indicator. There's some other nerdy stuff in there that happens, but it's a really cool update. Some
You
people
know
don't
what?
like it because it's a little buggy, but
Mhm. It's new.
Amethyst was buggy as hell 2 years ago, so it's like we're going back in time. I kind of like it. We're reliving the glory days of Amethyst right now. We had like 5 updates in one day. That's insane. I love it.
I think the Nostr apps are probably getting updated more than, like, the legacy social media apps. I could be
Yeah,
wrong. You would know that better than I would, because 'cause you're the
yeah.
tech guy.
Well, you know, legacy social media has been around for going on 2 decades, right? Like
Mhm.
since like 2006, 7, something like that.
That's 20
Um,
years. Yeah.
yeah, that's about 20 years. Well, Amethyst, I just said it's been around for 2.5. Then the next app I want to talk about, Damus. I mean, it's been
Yes.
around for maybe about 3 years since development started on it. Like
Mhm.
it's very new
That's
compared
my
to
daily driver too. I
yeah.
like Thomas.
So you use it on iOS. So the
Mhm.
big news this week, as of yesterday, actually, Damus launched for Android. So as an
That's
Android
the one,
user now,
okay.
I can finally use Damus on my phone.
Oh, you used it on desktop? Or I know you use Note Deck, which is like the old Tweet Deck if you want the
Yeah,
Tweet
yeah.
Deck
So
experience.
yeah, so they're very similar. So Damus for Android is the same architecture that gives us Damus or Note Deck, as you just said, Note Deck for desktop. So if you have a laptop, desktop computer, and you run Note Deck from the Damus team, which is, you said, it kind of looks like TweetDeck, kind of looks like Hootsuite,
Yeah.
things like that, different columns to organize all your content. It's really sweet for a power user.
We should say if you just found this podcast and you have no idea what Nostr is and it's your first day here and it's your first day looking into things like Nostr and AI, like let's just back up and say that
What is
the
the
app
Nostr?
what is the notes and other stuff over relays, but you can kind of choose your experience, and there's just one way to log in so you get the same experience on all of the apps. But you can
Yeah,
choose whatever you want to do. So like sometimes I'm on Damus because that's usually my preferred app. I don't even really know why. I just like it, and then I'll get on Primal for other purposes and use that one as well. And usually in the browser at home, I'm just doing, Primal on my MacBook, and that's how I roll because I like the Twitter experience. You can use Ditto
yeah.
for that. You can
And Primal is
apps.
very similar to the Twitter experience.
So like if you were a Twitter user in 2006, 2007, and you just didn't like the experience and you wanted it to be slightly different, you would just pick another app. And that's Nostr in a nutshell. Like pick your own experience, choose your own adventure.
Yeah. Choose your own adventure. Absolutely. You can't really do that today on Twitter. Elon took that away. He's like, no API access.
Yeah, none for
Yeah.
you.
So
That was the best part. All the goofy little things and
yeah.
games and the dorky things from the early days
All the
of
things you can
Twitter.
sign in with Twitter and use it for
Oh,
Twitter.
yeah.
Yeah. So
None of that.
Nostr kind of brings that back, right? It gives you the freedom and the opportunity to choose what type of experience you want, what type of app you want. Some apps are better than others. Some have more features, more bells and whistles. Um, So let's move on to another app that most people don't know that it's using Nostr, and it's really really
No.
popular, and it's very new, and it's from another name that is big in the tech space, from our friend of the show. That's what we're gonna call him, friend of the show, Jack Dorsey.
Ah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about our favorite new app, Bitchat.
It, is it
Bitchat,
BitChat or BitChat?
Bitchat, because that's what we do to each other. We bitch at
Yeah,
each other.
right. Like yeah, like there's a little pun there. Like when I
Yeah.
first read the name of it, I'm like, ah, BitChat, like you're talking to people, but you're bitching at them, or
Yeah.
like, what is it, Jack? Like, both both apply here, and that's a good meme. So
Hmm.
Jack launched this vibe coded or AI first AI assisted AI assisted app called BitChat, and it allowed local like people in the close proximity to you to chat. So if you're at like a concert or you're at a festival, carnival, something like that, maybe you're at a conference, a meeting, and you're in close proximity, you're in Bluetooth range, it'll form a Bluetooth mesh network and allow you to chat completely offline with no internet access.
And you know how
And
many times I opened it at the gym, hoping I would find another person to
you didn't find
bitch
anybody
at?
to bitch at the
Not
gym?
yet. Not yet. Not during gym time. Not yet.
I
I'm
haven't
hoping.
found anybody locally either. I did find people when I was at a conference recently.
Maybe if
So
I go,
that made sense. That was pretty
yeah.
cool.
If I
But I
stand
see
next to
people like
QW,
opening up BitChat on like airplanes and finding like one person on there to talk to. It's
see,
pretty
that would be
sweet.
fun. But so it
Yeah.
was a little lonely. There were some updates that Jack made.
Yeah. So initially he made the mesh network so you could talk with people that are, 30, 50 feet away, yards or meters or whatever that unit of measurement is. You can see them. Like,
Yeah.
you're pretty close. Then he released a feature that used Nostr to send messages to people and to continue chatting. So if you and I connected over Bluetooth, we could essentially friend each other. And then we could continue messaging even though we weren't in Bluetooth range. And that was
that's the
using Nostr.
Nostr.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was using Nostr to
The
facilitate
Nostr
that
integration.
NIP17 DMs. And then he released the purple update to it, which the purple update brought even more Nostr to where you could do these things called geohash channels. So what the geohash channel is every region, every town, every city block, every area of the earth somebody mapped out to a bunch of letters and numbers, a hash value.
Yeah, it's like
And
if you gave like
like
quadrants
a
to
massive
the entire
grid, right? Like
grid. There you go.
what's that piece of paper? Graph paper. Like if
Graph
you like
paper.
drew like the world on like the world's like smallest graph paper.
Yeah,
Essentially was like in each
thanks
block,
to
right?
yeah, Bitchat has now like shown us something that we never knew existed.
I never knew that there was geohashes for like everywhere in the world.
Who knows
So
this stuff?
geeks do. That's who does. Like they know this stuff.
We're geeks,
There's
so we
somebody
didn't know.
listening right now. It's like I knew that. Why didn't you know that, Derek and Heather? Like,
Yeah, somebody's way smarter than me and already
yeah,
knew
I'm
that.
sorry I didn't know that, man. Like, so these geohashes, these local or regions or states, countries, whatever, people can join and chat. So you can chat with people on your city block. You can chat with people in your town, in your state, in your province, region. And for example, so I live on the East Coast here. My largest geohash region is basically it goes from Northern Virginia up to Nova Scotia and
It's
almost
a
out
huge
to.
region.
Yeah, it's pretty
Talk to
big.
anybody.
It's pretty big. It's
Yeah.
like the Mid Atlantic states and New England states.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. And so I can join each of these regions, getting more and more in depth and as we go up. And then I can also teleport to another region.
See, I like
So
the teleport. I want
if I want to
pretend
teleport
that
out
somewhere
to,
else.
for example, San Francisco, I can do that. I can type in the San Francisco geohash of what is it, 9Q, I believe?
It's 9
And
something. Yeah.
9, yeah. We'll just say 9Q. It's either
Because I think
9Q or
I'm in
9P.
9. I'm in Arizona,
It's
so I think I'm in 9 something.
Well, yeah. So you type it in, and boom, you join, and now you're chatting with people that are most likely local to that area, or it's some other people that are region hopping.
Mhm.
Because speaking of Bitcoin, earlier in the show, we talked about Bitcoin for a split second. Bitcoiners decided that they were going to take over 21M region, which is like somewhere down in like the ocean above like New Zealand or something like that. But 21M is 21 million is a number that Bitcoiners like. So Bitcoiners kind of took over that region and said, hey, this is our home. This is where we're going to meet to talk about the orange coin.
And then we have to mention there was an unfortunate spam moment that happened in the initial opening up of 21M and just being able to teleport. There was some of it was funny. Okay.
There was a lot of spam. So as a way to kind of combat spam and also increase decentralization, the Bitchat team came up with the concept of geo relays, where I forget the metrics to figure it out, but maybe every day, every 24 hours, they go out there and they do a query on the top 300 Nostr relays and determine their location by their IP address, the region by their IP address, and then they assign 5 relays to every single geohash. So the geohash, for example, we were just talking about in 21M, or the geohash for the West Coast or the East Coast, we're all using different relays now. So
Like every day, every 24 hours it switches over? Is that how that works?
I don't 100% remember the architecture of that, how
But
that works.
but whatever it is, stop the weird spam.
Yes, it definitely. So yeah, I mean, technically somebody could download that list of 300 relays and spam all 300 relays, but that's gonna cause a little bit of a headache and a lot of work. It definitely can be done, but this helped with that.
I mean, spam
Definitely helped with that
happens.
because now every channel is essentially using a different set of relays.
And every time this happens, I think we find out that the Nostr, I don't know, relay network, whatever you want to call, I don't know how many there are, probably thousands. I don't know. You
Yeah,
might know, but it's
nobody knows.
robust. It resists the spam. Maybe not at first. Maybe we might have a little problem at first, but
Well, yeah,
somehow
we have spam issues from time to time, right?
it happens.
But I think developers like spam because it kind of gives them it lights a fire under them, right? Like it gives them
Yeah,
something to tackle, a problem to fix.
exactly. A
And if they have a
problem to
problem to
solve.
fix, they're going to get to work and they're going to fix it. And they
They
do. They
they
do
love
every
that.
time.
Yeah, like I'm like I was worried about you guys with that one hackathon you were doing. I was like, are they good? Are they good? And then like you
Yeah.
guys kept finding problems, and you were so happy. Everybody was smiling. Like it was the happiest I've ever
When
seen
we
you
were doing
guys.
the internal hackathon soapbox, yeah.
Oh yeah, we had a little
That
soapbox
was a good
hackathon.
time. That was
Yeah,
actually a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. We're getting ahead of ourselves, Heather.
we are. Yes,
We
keep
are.
going. Keep going with what you're talking about with Bitchat.
Yeah, well, I think we've been enough. We've been bitching at each other enough, right? Like we can probably talk about the next app.
Never. We'll bitch at each other forever, bro.
Friend of the show, another yeah, we will another friend of the show, Arcanox and
Yes.
Short Simon or Short Fiat released a new app. I think it just this past week as well. Their
Hmm.
fanfares app finally launched, and that's
Very
really
cool.
really cool
Now
because
this is a
you
great
you, you
idea.
said it earlier. It's basically like a Patreon alternative for Nostr.
Yeah, it's like if you want to put content on the internet behind a paywall, just to not have your stuff out there for whatever reason. Maybe you're trying to make money. Maybe you're an artist. You've created something. Could be a book. Could be music. Could be a film. And maybe you're a little shy. This could actually work out great for you because it's not like you have to charge $1 million for gated content. You could just charge 21 sats or 3 sats. Or I saw people posting notes on Nostr, which is like posting a tweet, right? And said, "Hey, if you want to read this, there's a little teaser, but unlock it for 1 sat, which is like virtually nothing. It's like a whisper of a cent, right?"
It's almost like a zap wall to prevent spam, almost
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah, or
right? Like because you would
maybe
have to. I mean, because you would have to pay to be able
I'm gonna
to
try it.
comment or no, or is it just to be able to view the content?
That's a good question because I haven't tried it yet. I have talked to Simon before, and I think it's a really cool idea. And of course, we shout out to Arcanox, who's hung out with us here in Nostr Phoenix. But I want to try it because I just need something to post. Maybe some vintage
Yeah, I need to try from the
Dross
posting
B-roll.
standpoint. I
Yeah.
zapped Arcanox's post earlier to see how it worked. He posted, hey, you got to zap 2 sats to be able to see this, I'll send you a fraction of a penny, sure, man. So I zapped him 2 sats, and then I got to see a video, a YouTube link he posted.
For people who just found this podcast and think we are if you're still listening to these big nerds that are on the mic right now, like explain to people this is what makes Nostr unique and different is you can do a zap, which means, sending a little micro payment of Bitcoin, but they kind of add up. Like I probably make like, I don't know, $25 a month. I don't keep track, but I'm just guessing like random, you know, zaps come from people and then there's just always sats in the wallet. It's a little circular economy and then I zap people and there's somehow always money in the wallet. That's incredible.
We have a nice example about that we're going to talk about later in the show about
Cool.
the zap economy.
The zap economy. It's a new world where you can
The
get
zap
paid for your content.
economy. Did I say every time we said zap we were going to have like a buzzer like
a little
go off or something?
like a little taser? Yeah.
Yeah, a little taser, yeah. That's another show. I know RUNSTR just put out an update, and I know nothing about it. I've been talking to lots, and I know you know all about RUNSTR, so it is now your time to shine. Tell me about RUNSTR. Show me RUNSTR.
Oh, we love RUNSTR. So RUNSTR came out of actually kind of a competition, like a months long hackathon put on by Nos Fabrica. So shout out to Avi Burra and John Gordon for starting the Nos Fabrica Challenge in January. And by the end of May, we were heading into a real heated competition there. And of course, the Wild Hustle created RUNSTR, and RUNSTR is a running app built on Nostr. And believe it or not, he has vibe coded pretty much 80% of it. And here's a guy who just found a new rabbit hole to go down and thought, well, okay, there's Bitcoin, there's Nostr. Oh my God, AI. And I can just like not write code and I can make a whole app. So he made RUNSTR. And, RUNSTR, it could compete with Strava or Nike Run Club if you're familiar with those apps. There's also, you don't have to run. You can walk, you can cycle. Walkster.
You can do a Walkster if you want. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna add some Yogaster. So there is,
you can so any type of activity basically.
Yeah, so this is the cool thing about Nostr development. There's so much to it, and it's so customizable that he said, you know what, I am going to make a running app built on Nostr, and you can actually track your health information. You can track your steps or your miles, and then he got to doing that and went, well, I can gamify this too, because we're all about gamifying everything in the space. Let's make it fun. So there's going to be a little second app here that he's working on, and these things are coming to iOS as well. And you're going to be able to earn Bitcoin rewards for doing your running, your walking, your cycling. So like what I'll do, because again, these things are like alpha and beta, a lot of these apps. So if you want to get in on this, like you are in on the ground floor of something really cool and amazing going on. So like I'll make a Yogaster group. And so I'll be like the team captain, and we'll get a yoga challenge going, and it'll track your yoga. And then the person who's doing the most yoga is going to get up on the leaderboard. You're going to get the most Bitcoin rewards sent right to your wallet. So it's going to be super fun. And I think if you do not know what any of this means and you're just listening to this, like you're just looking for something new in the world, like come on in, welcome. This is it.
You may not dive right in. We don't bite.
Yeah, you may not even know it's Nostr. Like you might just sign up for RUNSTR because it looks cool. And what is this app? And what is this rewards app? You don't have to know anything about Nostr to participate. And that's the cool thing about RUNSTR.
Well, something really cool about Nostr, we mentioned these micropayments earlier. Next up in the news, I want to talk about a Nostr baby was born.
Oh, we love the babies. We love the babies around here.
Both of these people, the mother and the father, are very active on Nostr. Paul is he's a professional purple pillar and orange pillar too. He surfs. He's a pharmacist, handing out pills. He focuses on growing Nostr. Like he's a great guy. And like his wife Laura, she posts content on Nostr as well. They had a baby girl.
Yeah, and what happened after that? Because they posted the cutest picture. It's mom and dad just like right out. They did a home birth. They live in the jungle, by the way. I think they're in like Costa Rica,
the jungle in Costa Rica.
So there's this cute picture of Paul and his wife and the baby all snuggled together, and it's just so sweet because it's got to be like day one of this baby's life, and it's just adorable, and everybody zapped it. And how much money did it make, Derek?
At the time of before the show, when I checked, they had over 500,000 sats. So that's well over $500.
That's amazing. That's just
at the time of the show. Just for posting, just for being a part of the community, just for being active in the community.
Welcome to the world.
That's just really cool.
That is really cool.
And if you're new to the community, the best way to become part of the community is to attend a meetup. And there's going to be a meetup happening in the very near future at the Digital Freedom Festival, Nostr and Bitcoin, September 7th in Colorado Springs.
Awesome. That's how I got into Nostr. I was attending a Nostr Phoenix meetup, and we were a small but mighty group. On a good day, there's maybe 7 of us. Yeah. Sam, W, and a couple others.
Well, if you're within driving distance, we can fly, to Colorado Springs. Again, September 7th, Fractal Chris is putting on a Bitcoin and Nostr event called Digital Freedom. So check it out. Go meet some Nostriches, go meet some Bitcoiners, and touch grass together.
And by the way, Fractal Chris also puts a lot of music into the space too. Like
he does.
He does some videos too. Like if you get on Nostr, you just find people who are building, creating, just kind of sharing things that they love. We got Yarn Lady. Shout out to Yarn Lady. And also your wife. Your wife crochets.
My wife, she's a yarn lady too. She makes all sorts of crochet. That's the word. I
Yes,
almost said
crochet.
cross stitch, and I was gonna get poked.
That's a
with like a
whole
needle.
other thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
you gotta get the lingo correct.
You absolutely do. You gotta know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. There's knitting, there's cross stitch, there's crochet. It's a whole
There's too
world.
many things to do with string and yarn. Like it's all the same thing to me.
That's okay. We'll give you a
so
pass on that one.
so that's the pulse of what happened this past week in the Purple Verse.
That was a lot.
With
Purple verse.
yeah, I know. I brought it up again. I did.
I like that. Purple verse.
That's our news recap, and we're gonna move on here and talk about some other meetups that happened recently. A larger one, a Bitcoin gathering in Europe. We're gonna talk about BTC HEL in Helsinki.
You were there. Now this
I
is
was
when
there.
you went to Helsinki. I haven't been to that. I went to Vegas, but I've not been to Helsinki to see what goes on. How big is it? What's the culture like?
Well, this was the very first one. So whenever we were in Vegas, there was 30,000 people there. So this was much smaller. There was about 1,000 people there. But I'll tell you what, the smaller conferences are better.
That's where it's
They're
at.
more signal. They're more intimate. You can actually like build relationships and community. You can talk to everybody if you want to talk to everybody. You can meet everybody if you want to meet everybody. You can shake hands. You can pop some shakas. You can do some hugs. Like it's a very good community building event. The smaller events, they really are. And BTC HEL was no different. I was actually on 2 panels there. One panel as a participant, and one panel was my panel. The first panel that I was on was called The Future of the Internet, and Knut Savenholm, he's the author of Everything Divided by 21 Million, the Bitcoin Infinity Show podcast. So if you're in the space, you may have heard of Knut before. He moderated this panel. And then I was joined on the panel by Grafton Clark, who is from Vexel. Vexel is a peer-to-peer Bitcoin exchange, I guess. Is that the word? Peer-to-peer Bitcoin, to buy and sell Bitcoin, peer-to-peer. And I was joined by Nico. I'm going to butcher his last name. It's Nico Hyponen.
Okay.
Sorry,
I'm
Nico.
sure he'll give you a pass. You tried.
Yeah. You know what? He should. He is an incredibly smart individual. Nico, he's a cybersecurity expert. He's done TED Talks. He's done keynotes all over Europe. So if you're in the tech scene in Europe, you've heard of Nico before. Alexander Bard is similar. He was our last panelist, besides myself. Alexander Bard, he's a cyber philosopher and also an author. Again, if you're kind of in the European tech space, you may have heard of him as well. And then last but not least, me. So I kind of made a joke that like Grafton, who does like, peer-to-peer internet stuff, Eric, who does like decentralized social stuff. Then you have these 2 like cyber tech experts that are on the panel talking about the future of the internet. I'm like, Grafton, what the hell are we doing up here? Like, did they make a mistake and put us on this panel?
How'd they invite you guys?
I know, like what are we doing up here?
You were there for balance.
It was good. Like we were all kind of in agreement. So the short version, the gist of this panel was the internet is becoming more centralized, which we know. It's kind of deviating. We have like a KYC internet, a permissioned internet versus a free and open permissionless internet.
Right. They want everything now. They want your name. They want your email address. I signed up for something today and it was like mandatory to give my phone number. And I'm like, why? Is that for 2FA?
Remember years ago when you used to go to the store to buy batteries and like, yeah, can I have your phone number? Like, to buy batteries? Like, what do you need my phone number for, man? Like, are we going to hang out? You going to call me?
I don't give my phone number at stores. Every time you go to a counter.
They used to not sell you batteries unless you did.
Really? Oh my God. Like, I just get the
Maybe Jude just wanted to hang out with me. I don't know.
Maybe he was flirting.
I mean, look at his face. Like, if you're listening, you can't see. But
did you live in a bad neighborhood or something? Like, what?
Guy just wanted to hang out with Derek, I guess.
Maybe it's the Derek effect. You get everybody to open up and.
So, well, that's what I was focusing on the next panel. So the next panel on the second day of the conference was my panel. It was the Nostr panel. So I was the mod, and I had Marty Malmy, the legend. He is a legend, like, right? So Marty Malmy, good friend of mine, friend of the show as well.
You should explain why he's a legend, though, because
Marty is a legend because he was the first developer to work with Satoshi Nakamoto.
That's
When
amazing.
Marty was back in college, Bitcoin, the white paper was sent out, and Marty sent Satoshi an email saying, "Hey, I can run a website and help you and build a website and help do support and all this other stuff." And he worked with Satoshi to do this in the beginning, like the first person ever. Marty is a freaking legend.
Which is a whole wait, so I have a funny story. I don't know. I think I told you this story where Ainsley Costello, the one who did our intro, she and I were
Yes.
walking around at the Nostr Lounge in Vegas, and she just walks right up to Marty Malmy, doesn't know who he is whatsoever, and just, "Hi, I'm Ainsley," and shakes his hand
Aw.
and starts talking to
Yeah,
him.
she's all bouncy probably and
She's
all excited,
yeah, she's
and
talking.
Marty's like, "Oh God, why is this young girl talking to me?" Like,
He's so nice. And then later we walked away, and I said, "Ainsley, did you know who that was?" And then she was like, "No." And so I explained, Marty Malmy he was like the first person to work with Satoshi. And she was like, "What?" So,
yeah.
yeah,
Marty's super, super humble. Like, he
he's
is
so
the
nice.
most humblest, sweetest guy ever. Marty also has a client for Nostr called Iris. So
Hmm.
he was early to Bitcoin and he's early to Nostr. So he kind of talks about the two and he understands
Hmm.
decentralization
And
in technology.
Iris is like Instagram. So if you want the Instagram experience, use Iris. It's iris.to.
That two, yes.
Yes.
Um, Next up on my panel, I had Max Hillerbrand. Max is a developer. He's known for privacy. I would call him a cypherpunk in the Nostr space and Bitcoin space. He's known for Wasabi and White Noise. Max, a friend of the show as well, friend of Derek as well. And
An
then
FOD, friend of Derek.
oh, he's a what?
He's an FOD, friend of Derek.
I like that, a FOD. Okay, I like
A
it.
FOD. But
We'll
rather
use
than
that.
FUD, we
Next
want
up,
FOD.
FOD is Tanya Bechler. Tanya's a friend of, or she's a FOD and as well. Tanya and I have done many Nostr events together, focusing on growth and onboarding and education. So it's great to have Tanya on the panel. And
Mhm.
last was Jordi Esteve. Jordi does growth for the application called Satlantis. So we
Cool.
had some developers on the panel, and we had some people focused on growth, and we kind of just talked about Nostr. We talked about things we need to do to fix certain areas, what we need to do for onboarding, why it's important, and kind of tied it in with all this KYC stuff we're seeing happening on the web today, where you have to scan your face or show your ID or prove your age to use.
Not with Nostr though, because you just
No, Nostr,
sign
but
up.
pretty much everything else but Nostr nowadays. Like in the past
Yeah.
2 months, like everything is blown up to you have to scan your face.
They want your ID. They want to see that you're a real human. Whereas on Nostr, we're like, whatever. You get a sign in, and it's a key pair. You don't have to have an email, and you just
Yeah, you don't.
you're just
You can
you.
be as anonymous as you want to.
We're
So
bringing
that's what
that
we talked
anonymity
about. It
back.
was a good panel. It really was. Like, we know that Nostr isn't the best. We know it's not perfect. We know we have a lot of work to do.
Working on it.
But you know, Knut, whenever he asked me on the future of the internet panel, he said, "So Derek, tell us about Nostr. It's kind of a clusterfuck, isn't it?" And
It is.
and I was like, "Oh man, that's one introduction." But then, I thought of the perfect answer. At least I thought it was pretty damn good. Nostr is a little bit of a clusterfuck because we do not have a central company or central authority to make us stay under all the same vision and all the same roadmap. Every developer can pretty much build what they want
And
and
that's the
do
beauty of
what
it.
they want.
Yeah, that's the
So
best part.
so there is some consensus around certain like core aspects, but other than that, anybody can build and create anything they want to. So absolutely, it's a beautiful clusterfuck, Canute.
I
Like,
think you would probably have a better experience signing on now than I did 2 years ago. Like, because I think
yeah,
I signed on and I was like, okay, this is okay. I don't get, because I came from social media marketing, and I think we were focused in the social media marketing space on like what is going to be the next Twitter, and we saw all these Twitter alts come along, and every single one of them, there was probably about a dozen of them. Every single one failed because everything was a company, everything was VC backed, everything was. It was nothing anybody wanted. It was just something that some guys in polar fleeces in San Francisco decided, like, hey, you should have this. And then nobody wanted it. And so they all went away. And Nostr has, with a small audience, it has prevailed and persisted because we're just building it to be what we want it to be. So like if you join Nostr
It's
right
for
now,
us, by us,
yeah,
right? Like,
you have a voice when you come into this space, and you can as a user in the least, you don't have to know anything technical. You can be a user and you can say, hey, I really think we should have like a button for this or a feed for this, and the developers might go, oh, hey, that's a good idea, because they're always looking for the next problem to solve, and so
and
that's what I think what makes it cool.
And I think a lot of that kind of users that do use Nostr kind of reflect on that, and they themselves want to build and create. Like a common
Hmm.
theme at BTC HEL for me when I was talking to people was they want to build their community. They want tools to flesh out their community. They want to organize, and Nostr is giving them some tools to do that. Like we have some tools, not as many as we will in the near future, but right now is a great time to use Nostr to you want to.
Yeah, for 3 years, we've seen a trend of people moving towards maybe their own small communities, their own closed communities. Maybe it's based on your local community, your local neighborhood. Maybe it's based on a common interest. Maybe it's based on, I just want people like Derek Ross in my circle and not other
You
people
want to
that
join
aren't
the
like Derek
FOD?
Ross. Yeah, but friends of Derek. We only want friends of Derek, FODs.
I'm going to start this community, by the way, after the show.
The friends of
The
Derek.
FOD. Yeah, we're starting it.
Oh my God. So you can kick me out when I join. That would be
Well, yeah, that's
outrageous.
what I'm literally doing. So you can't join. Like,
But I think there's also like a limited ability to create these communities too, because you're kind of stuck with whatever Instagram or Facebook says you can have. And then if you say the wrong word, you're going to be put in Facebook jail, or you do the wrong
imagine
thing.
building like a large community, putting tons of blood, sweat, and tears and time and effort into a
Oh,
community,
and
and
they
then
take it down.
Facebook or somebody coming around and being like, "Oh, hey, by the way, we're nuking this."
Yeah,
Boom! You can't do anything about it.
it
Like,
happened to me.
why would you build your house on somebody else's property?
Yeah, that happened to me 6 years ago. It was August of 2019, and Instagram memorialized my profile. And at the time, I had a small business within a small business. I was, this was my yoga studio that I worked at, but I was doing other things there, and that's what we were all using to promote being at the yoga studio was, using Instagram. And I was panicked, and it took me weeks to get back in because I was like, how do I promote my events? How do I promote my business? And then you realize, oh my God, like I wasn't using my website to promote my business or my newsletter or anything that I actually own. I was using this Instagram thing, and they memorialized me. They said Heather Larson was dead, Derek. And so I had to
Hmm.
prove I was alive. This was at the time that Instagram was merging with Facebook. And so I had to go through Facebook tech support. I had to show my ID because I was still stupid back then. And I was not yet orange pilled, privacy pilled,
Yeah,
whatever. And so I gave my ID to get my Instagram back. I had to prove I wasn't dead.
that's crazy. That's
You know,
crazy. Well, you don't have to do that on Nostr. You can be
no.
dead or alive, and no one's gonna ask you to show your papers.
I suppose if you pass away, you just stop your
Y-
profile. Just
You stop posting.
you just don't post
Yeah.
anymore. No,
Well,
nobody takes over your. There's no
that's the thing.
legacy.
There are some people that I become friends with that they stop posting, and I kind of want to know, are they okay? Like, why aren't they posting anymore?
Yeah, that
Uh,
maybe they just moved on.
maybe they just moved on and they spun up a new identity, which
We hope they're
some of them I
well.
know.
Yeah.
So back to BTC Hell. There's, we got to see how Bitcoin and Nostr communities are coming together, and they want to build, they want to create, they want to
Mhm.
continue growing their communities, and they want to shape the future of their communities. But there's also other things that are shaping the future, such as AI. Another reason that we're doing this show
Oh yeah.
is we're going to talk about things that are shaping the AI future and some of the tools that we're using and some of the large language models that we're using and so forth, and talk about some of the news in that. And over the past week, we had a couple headlines, not a whole lot going on recently. A couple weeks ago, we had ChatGPT 5 launch, we had Opus 4.1,
That was
and now we're
fun.
kind of like the calm, right? Like in another like couple weeks, no, maybe a month,
What's going to
they're going to
happen
start,
now?
people will start like leapfrogging each other, right? Like
Yeah.
Google will leapfrog one, and then Anthropic will come out and leapfrog, and then some Chinese company will like leapfrog. But for
Mhm.
now, the
Very
bubble is
competitive.
not bursting, is it, Heather?
No, it is not. And we will talk about NVIDIA because I actually did not realize how, I don't know, big and important NVIDIA was until the other day. People started talking. And this is like media was talking about how like, oh, oh, is the bubble burst? Has the AI bubble burst or not? Because
NVIDIA is like a $4.4 trillion company.
I
That's
had
insane.
no idea it was in the trillions. I just, I'm
Well,
a kid from
four.
Silicon Valley. Like I've heard of some of these things, but I haven't followed for a while. And so NVIDIA's like, it's huge and it turns into like this bellwether. So everybody's freaking out because some people are saying the AI space is overvalued. People have invested too much. The VCs have gone crazy. It's going to burst, but we'll wait until Wednesday when the NVIDIA earnings call comes out and then we'll decide whether the bubble bursts or not. And
Well,
hey,
did we burst after the earnings call?
TLDR, NVIDIA is doing great in spite of anything that could possibly affect it. It is a champion horse right now. It's running, it's doing great. And, so yeah, the AI bubble, it's not bursting. It's still going. Now, I don't think personally, here's my personal opinion, I don't think that doesn't mean VCs have put too much money into certain AI companies or ideas. Not everybody's going to make it, and that's the nature of things, and that's the nature of Silicon Valley. So, if that was good news for the AI space this week, I mean, it doesn't affect us too much because we're making an AI product that is designed to get you away from the big tech and to decentralize even your AI experience.
But some other news, Goose from Block, they are running a current special right now where if you sign up or if you use Goose and you activate like an account and you use Tetrate, I think it's
Hmm.
called. If you use them, they're like an open RUNSTR alternative. So if you use this new router, they'll give you $10, which is basically enough to like do like one small application, like one simple application. It's enough to get your feet wet. So they'll give you $10 and you can choose, well, you can choose from a wide variety of models. You can choose I'll say the best and most expensive models, or you could choose a little bit older or a much cheaper model and get a little bit more bang for your buck, but it's free to
That's
use.
cool.
So if you wanted to get into vibe coding and you don't want to spend any money, Goose has this alternative or this option right now where you download Goose, you install it, sign up, choose a provider during the install process. You pick the Tetrate and create a Tetrate account. You get $10 and then you can start
Get a
vibe
little
coding.
get a little freebie. Someday we're gonna look back on this and be like, remember when they gave us free AI credits to do
Well,
things and create
yeah,
products and
yeah.
like your
Well,
grandkids
so
someday are gonna ask you about this.
have you used Goose before?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've used Goose.
Do you use
Probably not the
the
same way that you use Goose, but like I'll put in like Flash Playground or whatever and just kinda use it, instead of ChatGPT because it's, you're
Mhm.
using it
You
within
you have the
Goose.
Goose desktop app installed, I think. Is that
Yeah, I
right?
have that. Yeah, so
Okay.
they can
I have
it can
never
make
used
me
that.
yeah, it can make me some code. It can give me, answers to things. Like it's just really fun and convenient. So I like that.
I've used the command line version of Goose several times. It works great, and I
Hmm.
believe the app we were talking about earlier in the show, Bitchat, Jack Dorsey vibe coded that with Goose, I believe.
That's cool. And if you're listening to
And
this and you're like, what are they talking about? Like
well,
I'm
yeah.
like I'm like the non-tech side of AI where I look for things like art Shakespeare
Well,
to where
well,
I don't
maybe
have
maybe
to
we
write
need to have a
code.
quick like,
Like a
what are these words they're saying? You know,
what are the words like where like
what do the
there's
words mean?
but in short, TLDR, there is a non-tech path that Heather takes to like super simply converse with the AI and make it make things for me. And then like Derek installs things so that he can use them in his terminal and type out commands on the command line and ask his AI
Yeah.
setup to do things for him, like make code. We're essentially doing the same thing, but I'm doing it in like this super more like non-technical like accessible way and Derek does it in like the guy who's got a GitHub account kind of way.
The GitHub account.
I have one too, but you get the idea.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of different tools that you can use to do this like AI first, AI assisted programming or AI
Mm.
assisted development.
Like no
Goose is just
code.
yeah, no code. You just have a conversation. You just talk to a computer
Yeah.
essentially. You just
I mean it's
have a
still
chat.
it's building your
Have a little
website or
chat.
app with code, like, but you don't have to write the code anymore. And like
Yeah.
even if you know how
The
to
app
write
writes the
with
code
code,
for you.
Yeah, like even if you are a developer, you can still do this without writing the code. And it just means that you're doing the same thing you would do, but you're doing it faster. You're doing it in days instead of weeks. That's all. The
Days
pace
instead
of
of
AI.
weeks. Well, it's even like
Yeah.
it's even like less than that. Like,
An afternoon, couple
yeah,
hours.
exactly. You spend an afternoon and you do something that would have taken you like weeks to do. It's insane.
Seriously.
So developers, months ago, they were like, kind of gun shy, like, they didn't want to do it. And as it has gotten better and better and better and better, they're realizing, this is a real good time saver. Maybe I don't like the way the AI did this, but I can fix that. It's a way to get started and template stuff out. Or or if you have it trained well enough, or if you've made enough of the code and you use that as like a template, you can have it continue building out your vision. It's really, really cool. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited to watch this space continue to grow, which is why I'm hosting on a weekly basis, and you've been able to join me the past few, these vibe coding
Yes.
jam sessions that I have on a
Mhm.
weekly basis where we share our projects, we ask our questions, we share our screens, and we do a very like collaborative, educational, kind of like a brown bag lunch, maybe like that you would do
Yeah, it's
like
like a brown bag.
in
Yeah,
work or something like
they
that.
keep getting better though. Like the things that people are making are getting better, and the Hive Talk sessions are getting better. And if you're wondering what Hive Talk is, it's a Nostr app that's kind of like Zoom, but it's free and it's obviously open source, but it's built on Nostr, so everything we do is Nostr. So Hive Talk's super fun. People hop on, share their screens, show what they're building, and like I don't know, this last week blew me away. This stuff was so
Yeah, we
cool.
had three standout apps there. So someone from our Soapbox team, his name's
Mhm.
Chad. Chad, what a Chad! He
We love
built this
Chad.
app called Bitmap. We love Chad, friend of the show.
Mhm.
FOD, FO,
FOD, friend of
FOS,
dear. I'll say he's my friend too. Friend of Heather.
FOH. He's a fa.
FOH is it's not the same as FOD. Okay, go on.
He Chad. So what Chad did is he built a visual map for people that were bit chatting, for people that were using Bitchat, and showing where they were talking in all these geolocations, these geo hashes all over the world. So and he did it in a heat map style, so you could see where the conversation is and how many people were in there, and it green a little bit of activity, yellow a little bit more, and then red when it's blowing up. So it's
And
really cool.
then then
Yeah.
Lemon, one of our other devs, came along and said, "Hey, you know what would be cool is if I could just jump into a bit chat from the heat
Yeah, so
map." And
you,
so
you you're browsing one, you see that it's blowing up, you click a button, and boom, now you're bitching at everybody. Like
now
you
you're
can
in
you can
there.
chat right
So
away.
that's cool because I think
So Chad demoed his app, and he built it on MK Stack, and he built it
Mhm.
with Well, I think he built it with Shakespeare at first, and then which uses MK Stack, and then he did a little bit of manual development. But I
yeah, he
think he
did
said
both.
what, like 70 to 80% was vibe coded, I believe.
Yeah, 80
AI
20. So
assisted.
yeah, so mostly vibe coded, I think, 20%, and some manual coding
Yeah.
because
So
he knows how to do
80%,
that.
AI assisted dev. That's awesome. That is really, really awesome.
And it's a really good looking map. Like if you're a
Yeah,
map
yeah, it
geek,
looks
like
good.
it's just cool to look at. And it matches the Bitchat aesthetic, the green and black that
Hmm.
seems so prominent in the Bitchat Bitchat app.
Then friend of the show and FOD Daniel. I swear I'm not like just showing like all my friends. I just know a lot of
Here's
people.
okay, let me just tell though, since it's the first podcast, if you've never listened to us before, like I cannot find a single soul in the Nostr Bitcoin purple world. I cannot find one person that Derek Ross has not yet met, talked to.
Well, there's a
Like
lot.
you know everybody's husband, wife, kids, dogs.
I
Like
do know a lot of people, but there's also a lot of people I don't know. But yeah,
I
it's
doubt
my
that.
mission to meet as many nostriches as I can. So
You're like the
so
guy, the
Dan,
welcome wagon of
yeah,
Nostr.
yeah. That's what Jeff Booth said. Jeff Booth is a
An
famous
author.
well, he's known for a lot of things, but in
Mhm.
our space, he's known for being an author and talking about Bitcoin and monetary policy and things like that. Jeff Booth recently in Helsinki called me the greeter, like, and
That's
immediately
true.
he's like, well, yeah, go ahead and join Nostr and see that guy over there. That's Derek. He'll greet you and he'll get you all set up.
He's
And I
your
was like,
friend for life.
I mean, like, I will, but like, come on, Jeff.
So if you're old enough or you just know enough internet lore to remember Tom from MySpace, you're
Yeah.
Tom from MySpace.
Oh no, I got to be in everybody's top 8. So the next app, Daniel forked, which means he like copied the code from an existing project by a company named Albi. He copied their BuzzPay app, which was kind of like a point of sale system. So he copied their code and then he used AI Claude to continue making it better. He added a whole bunch of features that he thought it was missing. Basically, he found a project that was kind of dead and not up to his
Amazing.
standards. And he's like, I'm going to work on this and I'm going to improve it. And he did. And he added a whole bunch of features. And now he's taking this improved app, going around New York City to businesses and onboarding them, saying, hey, if you want to take Bitcoin payments, I have an app for you. It's my app. It's free to use. Use it. So
What a
that's
time to be
super cool.
alive. Like you can just
What
say,
a time to be alive.
yeah, like, hey, I
like
like
you couldn't
this
do that
app.
before.
Yeah, like, but this could be better. I'm just gonna sign on to Cloud Code and like do a couple things. It looks really good, really sophisticated. This isn't like somebody's, I don't know, project like to get out of like coding school. Like it's absolutely gorgeous and
Yeah, it was good.
Works. So
I would absolutely use it if I was at a shop and I wanted to check out. Like it was really, or if I was a shop owner, I would use it. It was really easy. It looked great too.
Yeah. So
let's talk about the last project from the jam session, my app called Bitchat X. It's so back in the 90s, if you're an old man or old lady like us, in the 90s there was maybe it still exists today, IRC, Internet Relay Chat. It's still really popular, but not as popular as it once was. And one of the popular terminal clients apps was called BitchX. BitchX was very popular. I used it for years, and it was kind of like I don't know, I'll call it like the script kiddie hacker like IRC client back in the day. So I wanted to kind of recreate that. I vibe coded a IRC BitchX style client, and I called it Bitchat X, and I got it working. Like it works pretty well. There's a few bugs, but you can join all of the geohash channels. You can chat, and it has some BitchX features like, it has slap and it has hug and it has version and who is and message and leave and join and list. And like it has a bunch of IRC style.
Now, when
commands.
you say you vibe coded it, does that mean you did that in the terminal with MK Stack, or did you use Shakespeare, or a little bit of both, like Chad?
So I wanted to, so I didn't use MK Stack or Shakespeare because those will create web applications. And if I wanted to make a web app, I would have 100% used Shakespeare or MK Stack.
Gotcha.
But I wanted to have a native application that ran on my laptop, which runs Linux. So to do that, I had to make a completely new type of application. I've never vibe coded a non-web app before. So it was a brand new experience for me, and I wanted to try a new language. Earlier in the show, we were talking about Damus and NoteDeck. So I'm used to the language that they use. They use something called Rust. So I'm used to compiling like all the code together with Rust. And actually, I did make one PR, so I am now a Rust developer for NoteDeck.
Oh,
it was really, really easy. Like it was
congrats.
just like I changed just a couple things. It was no big deal. But I'm familiar with that. So I said I want to make a Rust application. Let's do that. And since I didn't have MK Stack as a template, it was a little bit harder to kind of teach the AI how to do certain things and have the conversation and fix some bugs because I didn't have that template that we provide with MK Stack. So it was a little bit harder. But the cool thing is now that I have this build and it works, I can actually extract some of that Rust code and I can make a Derek stack, or a Rust stack or whatever you want to call it.
You can add
I can make a Rust stack. So other developers that want to make native applications, they could use my template to help them get started.
There
So
goes
that's
your
really cool.
weekend. That's it.
Yeah. When I have like a day, I'm gonna do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you
But
seen the
the creative energy though, like it's not stopping. Like sometimes it does take the weekends off, but at Soapbox, we're trying to channel all this AI first energy into our own projects as well. Like we were talking about MK Stack and Shakespeare and stuff like that. So we should talk about some of the other things that we're doing at Soapbox behind the scenes.
Yes. Oh, okay. Let's start with, well, we just released a new version of Stacks, the Stacks version 1.1.0. You did a little tutorial on that,
I
and that
did.
adds slash commands, so that's going to be
Ooh.
fun to work with.
Slash command. So you're thinking, oh, like how is that exciting? Well, Bob,
Well,
it's
well, if you're a
exciting.
developer,
Well,
Bob.
Heather, it is actually very cool because it allows you to be your own AI router. So what does that mean? For
Right?
example, let's say if you are using the program called Claude, you have to use Claude's AI. You have to use their models, their LLMs. With Stacks, you can choose from various providers, and then you can also choose from those providers various LLMs. So you can choose maybe Claude, you can choose OpenAI, you can choose uh, ZAI. You can choose Gemini from Google, anything. But the cool thing about this version, Heather, is that you can swap between them. And that's actually really cool. So what I mean by that is, let's say you want to use the most expensive one out there, which is probably Claude Opus 4.1. You
Newest
use
one.
that for your very first prompt, let's say, and
Uh,
it builds the whole structure of how you want everything to be built. And you use it to just kind of get started, but not actually start coding yet. And then you switch over to something cheaper. Maybe you switch over to Google's Gemini
mhm.
Pro 2.5 or something like that, or something even cheaper, maybe ZAI's GLM 4.5. And you say, all right, let's switch over to the cheaper one now that we have the plan built with the expensive one. Hey, cheaper one, follow the expensive one's plan. Is basically what you can do.
So you make the expensive one do the hard stuff, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
Now,
okay.
alternatively, let's say you're using you just start out using the cheap one, right? You're using a cheap LLM because you don't want to waste a lot of money. You don't have a lot of funds to spend on this project. So you want to be conscientious about how you're spending. So maybe you're using Gemini Flash or you're using GLM, Flash, something like that. And it's really cheap, but it can't fix this bug. And you're
Yeah.
going in circles, right? You're
Let's
trying
talk
to fix
about
this
vibe
bug. You,
debugging.
yeah, vibe debugging. You're smacking yourself in the head. You're getting angry. You can't fix it. You're going in circles. You don't know what to do. Well, you can call in your senior developer, right? You can now type slash um, was it /P for providers or um L or not L slash what is it M for models, and you can change the provider, you can change the model. You can pick a completely different LLM. You can call in your senior developer Claude, or call in Claude Sonnet 4 or Claude Opus 4.1, something that's much more expensive and will probably fix that bug. So that's actually really cool. You didn't have that capability before. And then if you want to have different AIs for different projects, you can do that too.
It's
So
just
that's
getting
really cool.
so
That's
much
big
better.
news. It's
Big
big news. It's
news.
nerdy, but man, it's cool though.
Yeah, go to getstacks.dev to get a little update there.
Let's see what else. So we're working on what I like to call, and I think I've memed it into now, like everybody at the company calling it Act Two. Like that's a success.
We decided it would be Shakespeare Act 2, but we still have
Act Two.
Shakespeare. We never called it Act 1. We released Shakespeare in July. It's our conversational AI builder so that you can just, make websites and apps like it's ChatGPT, and instead of spitting back text or a photo to you, it will give you like a whole website, a whole app.
It's our
And
version of like Lovable, if anyone has ever
yeah,
used Lovable before.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you can make cool stuff, and all you have to do is ask it to make cool stuff. It's amazing. What a time to be alive.
So at the original beta,
Mhm.
it worked great, but obviously we can improve things
Oh
because
yeah.
we're moving super fast. So we're working on Act 2 right now, and Act 2 has a whole bunch of improvements, a whole bunch of bug fixes, better architecture. But the coolest thing for the more technical people out there is you'll be able to choose any LLM that you want, including your own. So if you're running a large language model at home on your computer, on your home network, you can use Shakespeare with that model. Or if you didn't want to use the most expensive model out there that we were using previously, you can choose any other model that you want to. And you can use your own API keys. You can completely be in control. So you're 100% in control of your whole entire LLM routing experience with Shakespeare Act 2. So that's really cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we're all about choice, and then we're not gonna, have you subscribe. All of these things want a monthly subscription, so like, you
Pay as
get to
you
kind of
go, right?
customize. Yeah, pay as you go. You get to customize that because you're probably paying for Claude Code, for example. You're paying for a plan there, but you can use that through MKStack.
So we're also working on an app called Podster. This is Heather and I's pod application for podcasters, for community builders, community creators in the podcast community, which this podcast, you may actually even be listening to it on Podster. At the time of the recording, it is not ready to launch, but
We
it'll be
haven't finished it
launching
yet.
soon.
Yes.
And it does podcasting 2.0, but it also does Nostr native podcasts as well. So I won't give away too much information yet, but it's really cool and it's almost ready to launch. We're going to dog food it, and then in a few weeks, once I feel it's ready, we're going to release it, and then everybody can download it and use it themselves if you also are a podcaster.
I
It's
could do that
something we're giving
for.
back to the podcast community.
Yeah, I could download it for Radio Detox or QW. You could do it for Pleb Chain Radio
Club
if
Chain
you
Radio,
want to do that.
anybody, anybody,
You could start a podcast.
anybody can start a podcast and host their own community. That's the cool thing. So maybe I didn't explain all of that well enough. It allows you to own your community, so you don't have to, publish your episodes and your social content on all these different websites. You just go to your community website, you post everything there, you have all your socials there, you have all your comments and everything. And then your fans, your listeners, they can go there too. And they can comment on all of your posts and share your content and listen to your podcast. So it's for listeners, creators as well. Like it's a whole community packaged application
That
for
can be
everybody.
fun. Like
Yeah.
some
It allows you
podcasts
to own
are.
your community.
Yeah, I'm thinking of something like the Bugle News, the very, very cult-like podcasts where people really get into it, and especially the ones that are maybe live and people get in the chat and they start to talk, get to know each other. Like you get a real community feel out of some of those things, and you'll be able to do that with Podster, and it's built on Nostr, so it's integrated with Nostr.
Yep.
So you'll be able to see like people's Nostr notes and.
Well, it would be the podcast creator, so you would see their Nostr notes, and then anybody that replies, anybody that's part of that podcaster's community. So you wouldn't be able to go there and see, like, if it's your personal podcast, I wouldn't be able to go there and see like my notes, but I
Okay.
would see your notes, and then anybody that's replying to your notes. So it's more of like a community in a box.
That's really cool though. Like where else are you gonna get that? Like where else is that possible other than Nostr, other than
Yeah,
open source?
I know that there's a similar kind of application for the Fediverse, and I wanted to make one for the Nostrverse, or the Purpleverse. I'm sorry, that's
The
what we're calling it. The show.
purple verse. So we're getting
The
closer to finding out
Purpleverse.
what
And
the
speaking
purple
of verses,
verse.
there is another app, right, that we're working on, but we can't really talk about it yet.
The
But
purple verse?
the Purpleverse, is that what we're going to call it? We're going to submit that at the next meeting.
I don't know. That could work. I like the purple verse. It has maybe some the scent of Prince wafting in. Maybe the the purple verse.
But either way, it's out of this world. Right.
It's out of this.
And it is out of the world.
It is definitely out of this world. It could be on maybe not on a whole other planet, but definitely in another galaxy. Maybe it's just kind of out there.
It is out there. It is out there. So that's what we're building at Soapbox. Each week we're going to talk about
That's a lot.
what's happening behind the scenes, kind of bring some of that stuff out from the curtains and share it with the world. So this is just the beginning. We're just getting started.
Yeah. To sum it up, like come into the Nostr space, see what people are building, use the stuff. If you don't know how to do anything technical, we got you. We'll give you Shakespeare. We'll give you a ton of apps so you can get on Nostr, have the experience you want, whether it's the Twitter experience, the Instagram experience, and you'll actually get to know people because, you know, it's a chronological timeline. However you join, you're not going to be beaten down by some algorithm that force feeds you stuff that you don't want to see or ads. You get to just kind of live and meet people and grow and watch people build. And if, you know, maybe you're a developer, you're getting into development, great time to come to Nostr. There's plenty to do.
Absolutely. And last but not least, if you have an idea, you can just have a conversation and build it on Nostr. Where else can you do that? You can't do that on Twitter. You can't do that on Instagram. You can't do that on Facebook.
You
But
can
on
get on
Nostr,
Nostr. Yeah, you
on
know,
Nostr, you can do it.
your first day on Nostr, get on Nostr, make a post introducing yourself, and make hashtag introductions part of that post, and people will find you and say hello and follow you. And then if you have a question, just hashtag ask Nostr, and then people will see that and answer that too. It's a whole different culture. I think we're fixing the internet slowly but surely. Some days feel slower than others. Some days feel faster than others because we know like
We
dozens
are rebuilding and fixing the internet. Absolutely, that's a great way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Heather, this was a fun show. I think we should do it again next week.
Let's do it weekly. We got plans and we got a lot of material.
We have plans. We're going to be doing this. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Find us on sessions.soapbox.pub, as well as your favorite podcast listeners, such as Fountain.fm and many others.
And YouTube.
We're coming at you videos.
Look for Soapbox Technology on YouTube, and we'll be uploading there. And all of Derek's tutorials, if you want to know what the hell he was talking about in some segments of the podcast, like there's a video for that on our YouTube, and then
there's a video for that. All right, that's the name of the show.
There's a video for that. There's a session for that. There's a video for that. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.